everyone, we are here today at Vulcan Alpha, our engineering and motorsport facility right next to the Nürburgring. Today we will be doing motorsport setup on my Corvette Z06 project car, something that we do for many of our customers who want to become safer and faster on the racetrack. If you're looking for a setup, shoot us an email and we'll get you a slot. When it comes to motorsport setup, people often think of the base alignment, where you make sure that your wheels, including the steering wheel, are straight. Maybe also camber values that give you more corner stability, but there is much more behind it. And when it comes to motorsport alignment, to get the best possible result for our project cars or yours, we need the best possible tools. This is why we use the NP Elite Car Setup Package. It's a laser alignment system that allows us to corner weight and have extremely high accuracy results for zero compromise. Before we're going to nerd you out about all the values we'll be putting on this car, the weight, the corner weighting, and also how to use this system, together with NP Parts, we're giving away its little brother, the NP Pro. Head over to our Instagram post, link of which you can find in the video description and the first pinned comment. Make sure to comment there on Instagram which car you're going to use this system on. All the details about when the winner is going to be announced are there on Instagram, so what are you waiting for? All right, let's get started with our setup. So the car is on the stands and Lapo has joined us as well. So before we're gonna do the motorsport setup, what is motorsport setup actually? What are we doing?
Well, what we're doing is creating the best possible scenario for the tires to grip on the surface that you're driving through. So in this case is to, what you have with a motorsport alignment system is the ability to do, I'm lowering down, is the ability to set up corner balance, to set up camber, caster, well, initially ride height, cross weight, camber caster, and then at the end toe. What that does is basically with weight distribution, you have all four axles, ideally you would have 25% of the total car weight. And ideally you would want to have 50-50 weight distribution between the front and the rear axle.
Is that correct though? Like what if you want to do more trail braking or there are aerodynamic forces?
Yeah, exactly. So depending, usually you always want 50-50 just because then the car is the most balanced in general. But of course, depending on the setup, on the drivetrain position and multiple different scenarios, you can have 51, 52% in the front, 51, 56% in the rear, for example, on mid-engined rear-engined cars. So depending on also tracks, maybe you want to have, if you're really maybe slow speed, sharp turns type of circuit, maybe you want to have a bit more load in the front because you don't have that high speed. If you don't have a high aero car, you want to have the front end grip more and have the car rotate, you can do it with some weight balance. You can also do it with suspension setup, toe in or toe out. So usually, for example, on high speed circuits, like for example Spa, but of course it's a very big generalization, you would want to have a bit more of a stable setup. For example, Eau Rouge is high force, high G corner. The suspension gets loaded up, so you want a stable, consistent setup. So you would tend to give more toe in. Depends on the car, of course, and all of that. I want to. It's just a big generalization.
What would you do with this car? So without going too much into details.
Then this is also another conversation because there's not I hate when people say, "Oh, this is the setup for the Nürburgring." Yeah. There's no setup for the Nürburgring. There is the setup for the driver.
True.
So depending on how the driver likes the car to react, so then the experience from the driver, you need, from an engineering standpoint, from a chassis setup point, you need to take all the information, decide how the car is handling, trying to understand what your driver
what I want,
and then with that, give him the best possible setup to counteract that problems that might come with, for example, a bit more toe out. For example, toe out is really good for initial turn-in and give more, a more direct feel to the steering, but it will induce some understeer eventually. So, for example, now with rear toe, if you have toe in the rear, the car will be very stable under braking, very stable during the corner, but you're going to have a slower transition time between when you steer and when the rear end is going to come in. Zero toe is very good, for example, for you have high-speed circuits, because then you're going to have less dragging and less slip angle on the tires. So it's going to have a bit more acceleration, a bit more top speed. But then you also have the problem of reduced tire temperature, because you don't have the constant scrubbing of the carcass of the tire, so you might get some tire temperature issues, or it can also be a benefit. If you're, for example, getting in a situation when you're overheating the tires, you can reduce camber, toe, which is all induces more deformation of the carcass of the tire and thus creates heat. So all of that can help. At the end, it's all about the tire and how you create heat and keep the heat and deform the carcass of the tire to then grip the surface that you're driving onto.
Did you understand it all? If not, you can skip back and rewatch it all again, because I'm not asking him any more questions. Let's proceed with checking what kind of values the car currently has, and then go to see what we're going to do to adjust it. Yeah. Right, yeah. For that, we have a very nice tablet, I think.
Yep.
Is that the one?
So first off,
yeah.
Of course, we set up on the stands. These have been, leveled. You have your laser leveling thing, which should be here, and you turn on, and it gives you level. Now you can already do, let's call it the corner balancing. So to do that, you have two switches. One is for the scales. It's written right here, scales and camber. And then the laser button, which turns on the laser, which we still need to get to, so don't look at the thing, will give you the toe. We turn on all the scales.
Let's turn the scales. Oh, I get to press a button.
Yep. So now with the tablet, you open the app, it connects via Bluetooth, and it gives you all the readings. So you have, well, without your fat ass, you have 350.
Hey.
You have 354 kilos on the front left axle, front right 373, rear left is 339, and the rear right is 330. So it's quite good balance. So you have 52% in front, 47 in the rear, so it's already a bit more, front load on the axle, and the cross weight is 51%, which is actually not bad for,
for a normal base
for
setup.
just slapping a suspension on and doing it by eye. So
yeah. So what we also see is the total weight is 1,397 kilos. The car has a full tank of fuel. No idea how much it is, but it's full. So you can Google it. But the interior has been stripped out. So we don't have...
Slightly, yeah.
Who did some drawings there on the shifter? All right, that's a new mod. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, so a slightly stripped interior. We have different seats by Fusina as well, carbon fiber, so they save a lot of weight. Yep. And the car does not have wheels on, but that's something we can put
we put wheel weight is 100 kilos, so it's
added. Is it though, you think?
Well, with tires and wheels, it's 25 kilos minimum.
Yeah?
Wheels and tires?
Yeah.
335s?
Yeah.
You want to weigh them?
Maybe.
I added 100 just to be sure with 25 kilo.
But another important feature when you do these kind of motorsport alignments, you need to simulate the driver weight. So when I get in there, we can see if we are still below.
Whoa. So you can see it live.
All right.
Misha's going in. So 1490, so around 100 kilos, 90 kilos.
95 probably, would close.
So now we have 51% in the front, 51.4, 48% in 46% in the rear, and almost 50 cross weight distribution, because if you can see, look at this.
That's nice.
It's not too bad.
So how are you gonna change the corner weight balance to be it more perfect?
So what we're gonna do now is check for ride height, see if the heights are almost all the same, let's call it, or let's say slightly different, but between the left and the right side are the same. And then we're gonna use because we don't have right adjustment on the actual shock itself, because it's very compact shock, we're gonna use some let's call it preload to change the cross weight with you sitting in.
Okay. All right, let's get going.
Yeah.
And a while later, the car is already back on its wheels, and I definitely can see much more camber on the front and also on the rear. Has a nice stance to it, so we can achieve higher corner speeds. Yeah. So, what have you guys done to it?
We did corner balancing, adjusted as best as we could for now. The car is going to go through different renditions, so doesn't need to meet to the gram. We did adjust camber. It was around 2 degrees before. We saw that, for example, because we just drove it and see how the car behaved. 2 degrees usually it's a good starting point, and then you increase depending on how the tire wear temperature goes through. So now we have 3.5 in the front. 3.55 depending on the wheel, and around 3.1 in the back.
Oh, nice.
So tires should be warm up faster, and also gonna have more corner grip.
Very good.
A bit less, of course, speed, but since we still don't have any aero, I wanted also with toe to make it even more safe, because you said, for example, the rear tends to step out high speed a little bit. So we give it 1.5 millimeters toe in the back, and 0.5 classic toe out in the front.
That's kind of it. That's
Yes,
all there is
and
to it.
then now we're gonna test it again, see how it behaves, and readjust.
All right, I think that's a very good time to say, let's go for a lap.
Warm tires, that's good. Stock ABS is so horrible. Corner speed was very good through there. With no arrow, insane. Problem, Cullenhart is a very trail brake sensitive corner, and I cannot trail brake with the stock ABS because then it just makes me understeer into full ice mode. Super annoying. I'm actually utilizing only like 50% of the braking power, if not less. ABS is so horrible. Transmission tunnel is so hot right now. Chill a bit. Yeah, so just check the footage to see what we did. First lap, the camera was for some reason dying and switching off the internal one. So I don't even know if I'm gonna like be posting it. It was like just above 7:30. Not that we time ourselves, but it's interesting to see what the mods do and everything. And then the second lap, once the tires were warmed up and I knew what I was doing, and decided, you know what, I would just like go a bit faster. Still had traffic, still TF, still watching out, still the rear axle and suspension not completely set up. By suspension not set up, we've done the motorsport alignment, yes, but the shocks have not been touched. So we still need to do all the dampening, valving, compression, decompression, the rebound, not decompression. But that still needs to be done, and then the car will be much more, well, better. Plus, see what is happening with the engine, with electrical. There's so much more to do with the car, but I think now, sub 730 on TF, so good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So what's there? Like
we're maxed out right now with the current configuration in terms of camber in the rear. So 3.1 degrees is as much as we can go with the current
arms and stuff,
arms
geometry.
and stuff.
Yeah.
We have no shims in the top arm. If anyone was asking if we have shims top arm, it's completely maxed out. In the front, we still can add. We can maybe add even 0.3 more. But I see, for example, the rear is, let's call it, I don't know how you say it in English. But
Yeah,
it's
rolling over the
rolling,
sidewall.
and the inside is still virgin on here.
On the outside, yeah.
So, but it's way better than before.
Anyway, I think that concludes it. I think right now we are on a very good baseline again. Oh, what? Really? Oh, the RS Turbo
Unicorns coming
Unicorn. They're like what, 500,000? Well, not 500,000, but I think maybe 300k. Anyway, what I was saying until I get interrupted by another prototype here on the Nürburgring. This is now a fantastic baseline. This verifies why I got this car, because the base. Why people need to send it on public roads? Because I'm sure you can hear it as well, and the car is somewhere far, far away, and the track is closed. That's really annoying. Don't be that guy. Anyway, it verifies why I got in this car, because it has a ton of potential. In stock form, lots of meh, but for the street perfect, but for the track, meh. And even now still we have massive brakes and everything, but the stock ABS is really not allowing us to brake properly, so it's kind of frustrating. But once we get everything dialed in, suspension, ABS, engine, aero, yeah, it's gonna be a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be something nice. And I hope you guys are enjoying this journey with us together, because this is something very special. Enrico, I'm sorry, I took the car out. Yes, I took the car out because I really wanted to, because I was very exciting, because the car is going to Ultrace in 2 days, and you probably have already seen it because this video is going to come after Ultrace. And I said, Enrico, can you clean the car for Ultrace? And
Enrico, can you clean the car for Ultrace
Now
again?
the video
Yes.
is over because Lap needs to go home. So
yes, yeah, bye. Look at all these. I'm actually happy to see those.
brother,
What?
I need to go home.
Yeah, you can go home, but I'm happy to see flies.
I'm happy to make flies go away.
Yeah, because the flies population has drastically decreased, including bee population, and that's endangering for us.
Yeah.
This is why we're compensating
You're
with the.
bothering me.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye.